I am Brad Keelor. They are Ali and Mohammad Khosravi. Coming up next on our very special Thanksgiving Director's Cut. It's the first time we've ever had twins on the show, and you're going to find out hilarious times when they've been mistaken for each other. Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Director's Cut. My name is Brad Keelor. I'm the director of the Geo-Institute, and that is why we call this show Director's Cut. Every single week until I am relieved of my duties at the Geo-Institute, I sit down with a different GI member, sometimes multiple GI members, who have stories to tell. Some of them are personal, some are professional, some are about being twins, and all of them are fun. If you don't know anything about the Geo-Institute, after you get through this interview today, head over on your favorite internet connected device to geoinstitute.org, and there you will find out literally hundreds of things about us, including that we are a technical society with about 12,000 members, most of whom are geotechnical engineers and or geologists, and that we are part of the American Society of Civil Engineers. And if you like what you see today, and I feel like all three of us are going to personally guarantee that you will, you should click like, subscribe, and get notifications, and we will let you know every time we post something to the YouTube channel. It is, as I mentioned in the open, our very special Thanksgiving episode. And when we do the aforementioned very special Thanksgiving episode, we have no choice but to bring on family members, geotechnical family members, onto Director's Cut. And we've got a first this time, twins. We have faculty member at Auburn University, Ali Khosravi, faculty member at Montana State University, Mohammad Khosravi. Guys, thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you for having us. Yeah.
I think we're going to have a good time today. I feel very secure in saying that. We've got 10 questions, the same way that we do every week, and 2 of them are the same that we ask everybody. So let's start with one of those. Describe your job in 45 seconds, and Ali, you're first up on this one.
Okay, sure. Brad, thank you so much for having us. Let me say that I'm assistant professor at Auburn in Civil and Environmental Engineering Department. Talking about my research covers a few different areas. I'm working on unsaturated soil mechanics, bio-inspired geotechniques, remote sensing, and sea ice mechanics. What I really love about my job is that I get to work with genuinely on topics that are interesting to me. I get to work with students, with colleagues that I really enjoy being around them. And it's kind of a great mix of science, engineering, and real world impact. And I think that's the thing that I love the most about this job.
Perfect. Mohammad, what about you?
Mohammad, I'm a faculty at Montana State University, and I've been working on topic in the intersection of multi-hazard resilience, cold region geotechnique, and using advanced technologies for natural hazard. And there are 3 topics that I'm mainly involved with. One of them is cold region infrastructure, that I've been collaborating with Ali on that, and also biomediation. And we have been recently working with Montana Department of Transportation to use advanced technologies like LiDAR drones. And I had a visit at NEARI facility, the rapid facility, to know more about those advanced tools for rockfall hazard in Montana, and it's in the final stages, which is very exciting. But as Ali mentioned, we are working on different aspects from basic science to implementation, and that's kind of make it interesting. And one of the things that I'm really excited about my job is the collaboration with different people across different universities, like from Auburn with Ali and Jack, to CU Boulder with Silicon, Lehigh University, and also I've been working with Oregon State and other institutions and UC Davis. So this has been really fun, that collaboration part of it.
Fantastic. And shout outs right out of the gate for Jack Montgomery and for Srikanth. Srikanth had a great time at Geo Extreme. You got to ask him about it.
Yeah.
It was a fun time.
Yeah, I watched the video actually. Yeah.
We are going to get into a lot of the stuff that you guys just mentioned as we go through the interview. Director's Cut is loaded up with fun questions every week. I mean, they're all fun questions, but some are more fun than others, and we're going to get to one of those right now. What's the most prestigious invitation that you've ever received? And it doesn't necessarily have to be one that you've accepted. It just needs to be the biggest honor that you think you've ever gotten in an invitation. And Mohammad, we're going to start with you on this one.
Well, I've had the privilege to get to present my work at different locations. Like I've been at CGM, Lehigh University, different NEARI facilities. But one of the most fun and something that I liked the most was going to Tokyo Tech and present my research over there. And so I was collaborating with one of the faculties who is the department right now, Professor Shuji Tamura. And I was going for a conference and he invited me to present one of my research topics on ground improvement, a project that was funded with Deep Foundation Institute. And that was like one of those, wow, it's cool to go to Japan, which is pioneering earthquake engineering and talk about earthquake engineering. I think that was one of the most wow invitation that I've had, I can say.
Before we get to you, Ali, Mohammad, do you have one that was super amazing that you had to turn down for some reason that you thought of?
Not really. Like, I don't miss the opportunities like that.
I always say there are no wrong or right answers on Director's Cut, but that's the right answer.
Yeah, when you are a junior faculty, you don't miss those opportunities. So, yeah, I haven't missed any of those for sure.
What about you? Your most prestigious invitation ever?
Yeah, I don't know if I call it prestigious or it's something that meant a lot to me when I started my very first year at Auburn. We have an international office here that they do great stuff. So they had this international collaboration opportunities for young faculties. I mean, new faculty, I'm not that young. So I applied for that. And then, I got selected and then invited, let's say that. So we went to South Korea for about 8 days with amazing colleagues. We had so much fun with, together, some presentation. We met, almost 8-9 different schools in South Korea. And I had a chance to present in one of them. So that part, we met amazing people. I traveled with the most fun people I met in my life. And then we had great food. So that one was very memorable for me. Not that prestige, I can say, but, very memorable. And I enjoyed it a lot.
I always think if you eat well on a trip like that, pretty much anything could happen and you're going to have fond memories of it, right? Because you liked what you ate. You probably got to eat with people that you wanted to hang out with. It makes it an awesome trip. Also, I think our message out there to every country in East Asia, if you want to impress the Khosravi brothers, invite them to come to one of your things because you had Japan, you had South Korea.
Yeah.
Let's just start checking countries off the list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here the Korean food is Korean food. But when you go there and then go to different places and you see how they have even that Korean food is different from south to north. And this trip, we made it from north all the way to south. So it was a travel all along the country. So that was amazing, to be honest.
Yeah, I think when you go to the country and mix the food with culture, you see how the food means for that culture. In US, you go to a Japanese restaurant and go to a sushi place and have a sushi, great. But over there, the way that they serve the food, the way that they look, enjoy the food is also fabulous. I think that's that part you can enjoy more when you are in that particular country, I believe.
That is fantastic. And again, viewers, this is the Thanksgiving episode. This will not be the last time we talk about food in this interview today. So stick around for that. The third question in the interview is always the research question. And, you know, sometimes I work really hard trying to come up with an insightful, incisive question to ask. You guys gave me one of the easiest ones I think we've had in the history of Director's Cut. You have an NSF grant together.
Yeah.
Brothers, twins, working together on the same grant. Ali, you get to go first on this one. Tell us about that grant, and then you guys can both get into some of the work that you're doing individually if you'd like.
Yeah, this grant, we're trying to figure out, you know, the thermo-hydro-mechanical coupling that we have in permafrost to understand, you know, the behavior in terms of the formation, landslide, and anything, you know, from that regard. And Mohammad has a lot of experience with centrifuge physical modeling testing. And I had the privilege to work on different numerical techniques, allowing me to look at, you know, materials from a micro scale perspective. So once, you know, we were talking, and then we had this idea together for so long, for about 2-3 years, but never had a chance to sit and, you know, worked on it. And then at some point, you know, Mohammad figured out, you know, his part, and then he asked me if I can come and then, you know, collaborate. And then we started putting things together. And, you know, the good thing is gonna, you know, with something about this, which is different from other that is out there, you know, about this topic, is that it's trying to connect whatever we have at micro scale level all the way to the macro scale, to have a connection between these like different scales, because we believe whatever happened at large, you know, it's going to come from the small size. And then also, you know, most of the approaches, since, you know, they ignore that part, they try to come up with some constitutive models, which are going to use some simplifications, a lot of, you know, homogenizations, averaging. But here, since, you know, we're going to look at micro scale, capture the behavior at that, then we're going to go around this micro scale part and then come up with, like, you know, some sort of numerical homogenization, which, you know, we capture the behavior directly from micro scale and feed it to larger scale. And then centrifuge come to play to calibrate, to validate the model. And then I think, you know, with this one, we're going to see the actual material and how it actually, you know, behaves in reality.
Very cool. Mohammad, you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, so Ali is going to be on the micro scale part. They have great facility, SEM, and the larger scale, which is going to be the centrifuge, we're going to look at the system response. And so one of the cool things that Ali and I are doing right now is designing a chiller system that would mount on the centrifuge. And we're kind of improving the current capability of the UC Davis centrifuge. So this work has some impact on its own, like for permafrost testing, but it also creates an opportunity for future researchers that can use a cold chamber that can control the temperature of the soil inside, as well as the ambient temperature for any cold region related research. And I think that's something that we are both proud of. As Ali mentioned, like we have been working in topic for a while. Like when I moved to MSU, I was working with Ross on liquefaction, ground improvement. And then when I moved to Montana, it's cold here. So I wanted my research to have some impact on the state level as well. So that's why I switched from earthquake and liquefaction to cold region type infrastructure research. And that's when like permafrost and frozen soil came into my mind, because we have some areas on the mountain with permafrost. Like I'm not sure if you have heard about we have, what do they call it? Bertus Highway. They have permafrost in the high elevation. So that's a topic that came, and then Ali was working on sea ice mechanics. So he had a lot of background in the cold, like frozen, not soil, like ice and material. And then I brought the frozen soil into play and then combined the expertise. And that's a good thing, because Ali is the little brother. He's like 5 minutes younger than me. And So he worked on the micro scale. I'm the older brother. I'm working on a macro
No,
scale, so larger
just to
scale.
know, just something on that 5 minutes. I was behind and he was in front. So they
Yeah, he
usually,
kicked me
they
out.
say the one behind is first, and then the
So
second.
you beat me to my follow-up question, Mohammed. So now, well, first I have to say Ross Boulanger is the most mentioned individual in the history of Director's Cut. We can usually go about 6 episodes maybe without Ross's name coming up. So shout out Ross Boulanger.
Yeah, he has had a great contribution in the geotechnical engineering. And he won a new award recently, and I personally texted him and thanked him for all of the things that he has done, specifically for me.
So Ali, we have to hear your story too. How did you get into cold regions stuff?
So honestly, it happened very naturally. I was at OSU, Oregon State, working with Army, and one day he came to me that, okay, we have a team in the ocean science department working on sea ice. And I know that you have background in rock mechanics and discrete element modeling. Do you like to get involved in that research? At the beginning, I was a little bit skeptical, kind of scared. Okay, new topic. I have no idea. But then when I started reading about it, I found it super fascinating, interesting, and I told, Armin, sure, why not? And then it got me into knowing fascinating people. There are scientists compared to us that are engineers. So they're different mindset, the way that they collaborate is different. It's just a lot of fun, working with that different community. And then also, I was able to connect with some amazing people, and then it brought me a lot of, good funding resources. So far, I'm very much happy about it.
Yeah,
That's
and
awesome.
there is one thing that I should add. Like one of the other reasons that I went to the cold region research, we have a NSF, like originally NSF funded research facility at MSU called Sub-Zero Research Lab. And we have a great cold region type research experimental facility that helped me to shape that part of my my research. And I believe without that, I wouldn't be able to do it. So I'm going to give credit, a lot of credit to them as well, to that center as well.
Fantastic. We will again get a little bit more into your research, both of you, later on in the interview. We got to get back to the fun stuff. I think when I was in high school, maybe less when I was an undergrad, I kind of was proud that I turned in some crazy assignments, stuff that was like out there. And sometimes the teachers liked it too. Sometimes the professors liked it. For both of you, what's the most surprising thing you've ever had a student turn in? And I think it's Mohammed's turn to go first on this one.
So this is a recent experience. So I had a midterm exam last week, and the deadline was on Tuesday morning. So I never had anything like surprising thing that they gave me or they submit, but that was kind of surprising in terms of the reaction between and the dynamic between and the interaction between me and the students, because the deadline was a graduate level course. The deadline was on Tuesday for the midterm, and then the deadline was Tuesday, and the student came on Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. just casually handed in his exam, and I was just looking at his face. So he kind of figured out that there was something wrong. And he was like, "What's it due today?" But he had like that panic, a mixed panic and the confidence in his face. Like so he gave me the feeling that he didn't know, but I wasn't sure. And I wasn't sure if I should laugh but I was so surprised. And I accepted the exam and didn't tell him anything. He said, "Sure, yeah, the deadline was today, so let's go." That's the most recent thing that happened. But in terms of assignments or project, there was one project that I asked a student to submit a report, and it was the due date, and the student sent me the report. And I started reading the report, and I saw a lot of citation for figures, but I couldn't see any figure in it. So the student has some imagination for figure, but he didn't create anything. Apparently, he wasn't working on that one, but he put figure one describing this one, but he just put the placeholder for that project for those figures, and yeah, he got 0 for that. Yeah. So.
Ali, what about you?
Well, it's kind of embarrassing, for me. But last semester, I wasn't the best, instructor. I think my students had some problems understanding me well or something. So at some point, they thought since I'm not that good, that I have to give them extra points for not being a good instructor. So they had this, I would, on the night of the exam, I remember one of the students sent me an email. Okay, you were not that good this semester. So we did some, kind of review among ourselves. And I prepared something to students to see what they feel about your teaching. And then, okay, the results are there. And it was terrible, honestly. I couldn't read the whole email. And then at the end, he said that, okay, based on this, I believe you have to give us some extra point, at least, if you're going to give us C, it has to be B or A. It's up to you, your call. And I was just looking at the email, didn't know what to say. And I said, okay, thank you for the effort. But I thought, if you would spend this time, apparently you have spent a lot of time on this, on your course, and then especially on the exam now, you would do much better on your exam, on the course and everything. So that happened, honestly, only once, and it was super, super surprising. At the same time, well, good experience for me to know how students feel about, the whole thing as teachers, as students, and how they can, go beyond limits of their, capabilities.
That is amazing. It was a good story, and then you got, it's up to you. Yeah. Just do whatever you feel is right. I love that. I don't want to make a suggestion.
No,
that's fantastic.
Yeah. It's just, the email was so casual. The guy was so cool. I know him in my class. He was an amazing kid. And honestly, at the end that he came, I expected him to be like, fantastic. But this fantastic, I didn't expect him to be. But
yeah, it happened only one semester. Sure. Yeah. We don't want to say.
So we're already talking about classes. We're already talking about being on campus. This is a perfect segue into the next question. Every August, especially in undergrad, for me, grad school, whatever, it was just kind of like a job by then. But undergrad, the first day of classes in August felt amazing. You knew you weren't really going to do any real work that first week. You were back with your friends. Like it was just a lot of fun, and it was exciting, and everybody was there. The weather was still good. For both of you, this is a fill in the blank one, and Ali, you got first on this one. Walking onto campus on the first day of classes in August feels what?
Energizing. Everyone's back. The whole place, wakes up, especially when you live in Auburn, which is a college town. Summer is like quiet. And then the first day, students are back, parents are there touring the university. It's just super exciting and energizing.
Mohammad, what about you?
Yeah, I can describe it. Like there is a animation. I can't remember when. I think back in 2009, Cloudy with the Chance of Meatball.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it's literally like a fun storm of meatballs, like coming with a lot of fun energy, and it's one of those that you wish for more of them. But as Ali mentioned, like dealing with same people for three or 4 months, as seeing the same people could be a little bit boring. So seeing a lot of fresh faces and energetic faces, specifically in the first couple of weeks that everyone is excited and not stressed out, is really fun.
That's a great analogy. I love that. Now every August I will forever think of Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs around that back to school time. We ask everybody this question when they come on Director's Cut 2. It is your Geo-Institute origin story. How did you first get involved with ASCE and GI? And Mohammad, you're first on this one.
So I first got involved with ASCE and GI back in, I believe, 2009 or 2010 when I was a student, master's student at University of Delaware. So I attended my first conference. I can't remember where was that one. Was it Atlanta, Ali, or?
No, it wasn't Atlanta. No, I think it was in California.
Oh, San Diego.
San Francisco.
San Francisco, yeah. And that was one of my first one. And as a student, I had a lot of fun and like seeing all the legends that I've seen on papers and seeing in person. And one of the things that I like about the ASCE conference and the GI conference is that everyone is interested to attend. So the chance that you will see all your friends is high, especially for me and Ali, that we are twins and same major. So we kind of have a double power in making connections. So after maybe a few years, we have expanded our friendships with people in this area significantly. And right now, whenever I go to a conference, technical part is one thing, but I'm more excited to see friends and colleagues. And it's literally like walking in a tour with all friends, and that's fun.
Ali, what about you? How'd you get started?
Yeah, 2007, I came to the US. I think my research, got serious 2008. At that time, I went to the first conference, what, 2008 or 9, I don't remember that. But then I remember the very first day that I went to that and, saw big names that I read about them in the books, like Stokey and, many other, Duncan and many other people, Ross. Seeing them was super exciting, but at the same time stressful. And I remember I couldn't even go first time to Ross and say hello because he's Ross, so I can't do that. But it was amazing, to be honest, to be there. And then I always appreciate, because it brings a lot of opportunities, as Mohammad said, to meet people, to talk, to meet friends, to hang out with incredible, young students, faculty. Everyone's around there very much excited about the whole event. So it's not more event, it's like a family gathering to me. So I always enjoy, that part.
What I loved about that is you called everybody by their last name except Ross.
Yeah.
So
his last name
story.
is hard. Ross is easier.
No, there is a story. So the first week that I started at CGM, I had a meeting with Ross, and Virginia Tech has different environment. We always called every faculty but by Professor X and Y. But when I went to CGM the first week, I had a meeting with Ross, and I said, "Hi, Professor Boulanger," and he's like, "I'm not that old. Call me Ross." That's it. So I started calling him Ross. So that's what he wanted to call him. So
I have a really interesting follow-up question that I've never been able to ask anybody on Director's Cut before. Do you guys stay together when you're at Geo-Congress? Do you ever do that?
Always.
Do you drive each other crazy?
Oh,
always. Yeah.
My wife hates when we both are around. When we go together, she hates it because we always fight, even at the age of 24 that you are now. So it's always
44. Not 24. We are 44, Ali.
You are 44.
But that's a perfect answer because again, this is the magic of Director's Cut, right? It leads us right into the next question.
Yeah.
And Ali, you're first up on this one. What are the easiest and hardest things about collaborating, professionally, obviously, with a family member?
The easiest part is that I know he's always available. I know exactly where to find him, even those places I don't want to find him. But the hardest part is his attitude. Oh my God, you have to talk to him. And then we're always arguing. And then, when your family, in a project, you're supposed to argue, but your family members, you argue most. And then his thing is just, oh my God.
Yeah, you have to talk to his wife. She knows who argue the most.
She is very happy.
Yeah.
Very happy.
No, but I'm going to say communication is the easiest one. As Ali mentioned, I know when he's available, I can call him anytime. But at the same time, communication is the worst part because you have to deal with this guy. So we are twins, so we have kind of similar attitude. And it has happened a lot that we hung up the phone. But the good thing is, like, after 3 minutes, I can call him back and say, "Oh, what were you saying?" So it has happened a lot.
I think, I mean, this has to be true, right? When you're on any project team, there's always somebody who's kind of not the weakest link, but you know what I mean? Maybe they're not responsive when they should be, or they're not bringing something to the table that everybody else is. Do you guys feel like you have an advantage over other people that collaborate because you probably know exactly what the other person is capable of and what they're not capable of?
Yeah, I think that's a very good, point. With him, I know exactly what he is, what he knows, and then I think same for him. So from that perspective, we never have an issue. And then, it's always, it's all about sometimes about fun. Like you mentioned, if we go to conferences together, sometimes he's short in money for traveling. So I get a hotel so he can come with me. Or, I cover some, cost of the conference. He just have to buy the ticket and come. And same for him, it's easy to get into his plan if we want.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. I mean, so I guess the pitch for the viewers there is if you want to save money on conference attendance, you need a twin.
Oh,
It's,
yeah. Oh, good
Or a
friend.
good friend.
Yeah. And one thing I have to say, Mohammed and I, we know each other 9 months more than any other brothers and sisters.
This is fantastic. I love this. Guys, we have not talked about NARI in a while on Director's Cut, and today's the day.
Yeah.
You're both involved with it. I think Mohammed a little bit more than Ali, but we're not going to discriminate because really what we're here to do is tell everybody what NARI is, first of all, why they should get involved with it, and what your work is with that center. So Mohammed, you're up first.
So there was a slide that Ross always presented on one of his presentation, and I think I'm trying to remember who had that quote. So he said, "You may not be able to afford a centrifuge, but you can easily have a friend with a centrifuge." So NARI is like that. So if you NARI provide researchers with unique world-class facilities all around the United States for different types of natural hazards, from earthquake engineering like Shake Table and the centrifuge facility, like the hybrid simulator in Lehigh University, to hurricane wind in the University of Florida and in Florida. And also they have other facilities like the social science facility at CU Boulder, or rapid facility for field reconnaissance. Like they literally, any of those facilities are so expensive that no one can afford. However, if you have the connection with them and work with them and write a proposal to use their facility, it's going to be much cheaper for you to use that facility, especially when it's funded through NSF. So I've been in a lot of meetings of NARI, and you can already see the amount of impact that NARI has had over the last 10 years. And even before, we had NEAS that focus was more on the earthquake engineering. But one of the good thing about NARI, if you do the research under NARI umbrella, they promote your research, they promote your work. And that's the fascinating part. And you can easily, with the least effort, you can make connections nationally and internationally, which is one of the fun part about NARI, I believe.
That's amazing. And, my little pitch will be, we'll put a link to NARI down in the show notes, by the way, so everybody can click through and check it out if you're not familiar with it. I feel like it's a little sub-community on its own, too, even within the hazards or the geotech or the geoscience world. There is a little NARI group. If you're at AGU, there's probably going to be a NARI get together. Sometimes it happens at Geo-Congress. So be on the lookout for that. Ali, anything you want to add about NARI and your work?
I think Mohammed is right. One of the things, since I'm in Auburn, I realize how much, research facilities, make a difference in your research. So in Auburn, we have great facilities. Mohammed knows, I wasn't able to get I have 3 NSF awards, and I wasn't able to get them without the facilities that we have in Auburn. And then, NEHRI, many places don't have it, but NEHRI provides an umbrella that covers, anyone wants to be part of it, provide any research tool that need to be the design safe, a place that you can deploy your data, you can access to that data nationally. I think that those things that NEHRI provides is something with great impact that kind of, everyone can benefit, as long as if they're looking for it, if they need it. So I think that's the best part about it.
And there is another
Amazing.
thing sorry if I interrupt. There is
No, it's all
another
right.
thing about NEORI is the multidisciplinary
Yes.
nature of it. Like sometimes you work on one topic, but when you start going through NEORI, you will see a lot of different centers. And then I think that kind of also helps to kind of expand the research that you're working on, the collaboration with different areas. And I think that's another good thing about NEORI that we have.
So guys, we're down to our final 2 questions. We're done talking about research. And we're up to the one that we led off the show with. This is what we teased. I feel like every episode has like that one moment that everything kind of leads up to. This is it. I can't even remember who's going to go first on this one. I guess it's Ali's turn.
It's me, yeah.
What's the most memorable time that each of you has been mistaken for the other twin?
So it was, I think, 2013 or 12. Mohammad was at Virginia Tech, and I was somewhere. I think Colorado, I believe, or it was, back at Sharif. So we were in a conference, and then I saw one of the people there said hi, and then I didn't know the face. I said hi, just hi, simple hi back. And then he just looked at me kind of surprised or shocked and passed. I thought that, okay, there was a mixed thing happening here. So I went to Mohammed and told him, Mohammed, something happened. He said, what did you do? I said, someone passed by. He said hi, and I just said hi, but he got kind of shocked. And he asked me, show me the person. I took him to that person. I showed him that guy. He said, oh my God, that Professor Brandon. You know what you did? And then I said, I knew the name, but I never saw the face. So we had to go to him, talk to him. Okay, sorry for the mix. I'm Ali. He is Mohammed. I thought that, I didn't know you. So he said, thank you for coming to me. Because, since I met you, I was thinking, what did I do that Mohammed acted so weird? So I'm glad that, we fixed that issue. And then after that, we never made the same mistake. Anyone says hi, we just say hi. And then they realize, after some words, they realize, okay, you're not Mohammed or you're not Ali. I say, yeah. Nice to meet you, by the way. So that's the way that we usually go to the conferences from then.
Mohammed, what about you?
So it goes back to 2007 or 8. Like once we both applied for the same university in Canada, and we submitted our application. But after a while, we received an email basically accusing us of trying to trick them. Like they said, like we have submitted 2 applications on different name for the same person. And we had to send them our passport saying, no, we are 2 different people. Like the CV, like back then, if you put the CVs, we have been collaborating on the topics back then too. So they basically put both CVs next to each other. Everything was copy and paste.
Yeah, that's
in
something
their
about
perspective,
twins.
but the name.
Yeah.
And so we had to send our passport and say, okay, we are 2 different people here. And then like after when they realized that, like they said, we had a lot of fun with your application in the office, and they gave us an offer. Admission offer. So it was a good ending for sure.
So it was the university that made the mistake, and not the Canadian government.
No, it's back then it was the university. Yeah.
Okay.
Alberta University. Yeah.
That is fantastic. And then we're going to add a little bonus video at the end for those who want to stick around, and we'll have Mohammad and Ali narrate that. Usually we don't tell our viewers when there's a little bit of bonus content at the end, but today, special treat. Holiday, we got to let you know that it's going to be there. So make sure you hang around all the way to the end. It is, of course, as we've said probably 7 times already during the episode, our special Thanksgiving episode. For everybody who's watching this, tomorrow is Thanksgiving. And hopefully you're enjoying all kinds of things that you enjoy when Thanksgiving happens. Thanksgiving is mostly about tradition, right?
Yeah.
You guys have been in the States, I guess, about 15, 17 years now. Long enough that you've probably got some strong opinions about Thanksgiving. So the final question is just going to be, what's your favorite Thanksgiving tradition? And I think, is Mohammad first on this one? I'm getting all out. Mohammad, you're up first.
So at the beginning, when I was talking about Japan and sushi, I mentioned like one of the good thing is the culture. Like maybe I think that's the best part, because that's tradition is kind of closest to Iranian culture. Like we are very social in Iran. We have a lot of gathering, and American culture is more individualism. And I think Thanksgiving is one of those events that you see the whole family from all around the state come together and enjoy that meal. And I think that's the more most fun thing about Thanksgiving that I like. But there is one confusing that I don't like. I'm still confused about what they call a stuffing when it's not stuffed into the turkey. So that's the weird part. But that's what I like about the Thanksgiving.
But now, I mean, I gave you the other option before we recorded. I saw a lot of people, maybe mostly older people, call it dressing. So I feel like if you say that, though, people would know what you were saying. Generally.
Yeah,
so maybe you can change it up, and it solves some ethical dilemma that you had.
I don't have that dilemma anymore. I started cooking my own turkey, and I put real stuffing in it. So.
All right, good call. Ali, what about you? Favorite Thanksgiving tradition?
I think that with what Mohammed said, we are in Iran, we're very social. We like, gatherings, especially family gathering, friend gathering. So especially this Thanksgiving brings all, friends together. They watch, they laugh, they, talk together for so long. So I like that part the most. And then we try to mix it with Persian culture, since we don't watch, at least, for me or my friends, we don't watch the football after that. So we mix it with some dance and then with parties. So we enjoy, being together from, that perspective. And then also in Iran, when we had gathering, we had small, chickens, like stuffed chickens. But now that it's too big, so everyone can get more share. I think that's the best part. One of the things, I like a lot about Thanksgiving.
So we have to do a bonus question here, and it's got to be your top 3 Thanksgiving foods. And I'll buy you some time to think about that, and I'll give you mine. So I think for me, number 1 is always going to be turkey. I think I like it a lot. Like I could probably eat it once a week, maybe not more than that, but I could go turkey once a week. Cranberry sauce is one of my favorite things. I make it at times other than Thanksgiving, which people probably think is weird. I put raspberries and blackberries in the one I make. And actually, we're having office Thanksgiving in a little bit. And so my cranberry sauce is over there in the fridge. And I'm going to say number 3 is probably pie. I like pie, but we don't eat it a lot. So it's kind of a special like Thanksgiving treat. And it can be any kind of pie as a winner.
Which
so
one
let's
is
go.
your favorite?
Probably like a fruit one. Like probably go with like a blueberry pie would be my favorite. What about you guys? So who wants to go first on this one? Your top 3 Thanksgiving foods.
Yeah, I love turkey. Honestly, again, it's just because it's big. So I know if I go and then come back, there is still some leftovers I can enjoy,
The best.
I know. The chicken part, you go and then come back. Okay, no, nothing more. But for turkey, there is something left. And then the gravy they put on top of it, yeah, I love that part too. And then, the pie, especially raspberry pie. Apple pie, I'm not a big fan, but
that's a great choice.
Yeah.
That's a great choice. Very underrated. Mohammad, what do you got?
Yeah, you have mentioned turkey, so I'm gonna go with the other one. Like be a little bit different. So I'm gonna go for cranberry sauce. I love that one. I love the gravy and also the bean. And for dessert, I'm a pecan pie fan. I think that's
Yeah.
I like that one more than cranberry. I feel that it's kind of give it a specific texture with the pecan in it, and I love that one. So
Yeah, and we Iranians, we mix things, culturally. So we bring our own food to the table too. So we always have some sort of soup. We call it ash.
Mm.
So we have that also, which is always my Persian type of Thanksgiving food.
You
Yeah,
really cannot go wrong if it's on the table at Thanksgiving. It's probably people tend to bring their A game when they
yeah,
cook for Thanksgiving, right? It's
yeah.
gonna be good, whatever it is.
I agree.
Guys, this was amazing. You made it through all 10 questions. You made it through the follow-ups. People are probably really hungry after watching this interview. And, maybe we'll get a few more collaborators in Neri out of it too, right? Because we did the little pitch there about halfway. For our viewers, if you liked what you saw, and you probably did because you're here at the end, again, click like, subscribe, get notifications, and we'll let you know every time we post something to the YouTube channel. This is unbelievably episode 244 of Director's Cut. You can go back and watch all those prior episodes on the YouTube channel too. So I would encourage you to do that. Ali, Mohammad, thank you guys so much for doing this. I hope it was fun.
It was great.
thank you for
Thank
having
you,
us.
Brad. Yeah, for having us. Yeah, it was amazing experience.
Thanks for keeping the fighting to a minimum. Ali, your wife can watch this and I guess not get upset at you guys
Yeah, I won't-
that you
yeah.
didn't argue.
I
We
won't
can
tell her
behave.
where she can find it, definitely.
Yeah, we can behave for 1 hour. We can control that.
Yeah, I should say she's the best wife ever. Yeah. Yes.
Well done getting that in at the end. I like that. And again, for our viewers, of course, we're coming close to the end of the year. Just a few more episodes of Director's Cut before 2025 is done. But we will see you in just 7 days with another brand new Director's Cut. And happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there in GI land.
Come on, help me through. Come on, help me through. I've been feeling the love. I've been feeling the rhythm.
Oh, this story, yeah. First time that you're talking about the video, right? So it was the first time that my kid saw both of us together. So, he started, Mohammed, if you look at the video, said, okay, come to me. And then, she looked at the face. Okay, makes sense. Yeah, she is daddy. So she went there and then she was happy there. And then, looked back, said, okay, dad is there. So she, moved back to me. And then, we did this like back and forth for like 5 minutes. And that was hilarious. I always saw it in the videos, never thought that it's going to happen to me myself and that was amazing.
You
that's
became a meme.
Yeah, exactly.
We did, really. Like,
Yeah, some people actually shared the video, to be honest.
yeah, we had.
Oh, I've seen these. So
yeah.
it's amazing that you guys did that.
Yeah.
Kami Papai Ami Papai Ami